Repeat after me. Habakkuk. Habakkuk. Great. That's the Korean version of Habakkuk. How do you say, Lisa Jean? So again, Habakkuk. There you go. There you go. Okay. I kid you not. If I stay here longer than 5 years, you're all going to speak Korean at one point. Okay. All right. How are y'all feeling? Yeah. I first of all, can we tell that fall is here? Definitely. Woo, they say Portland is lit on fire. Yes. But I'm also feeling a lot of heaviness. And I feel it in my body. I feel it on my shoulders. And sometimes when it gets really bad, I can even feel it creeping up my neck and then like goes to my brain. This is really not a good feeling. No. And over the years, I've learned what is mine to carry, what is not to carry, right? But I feel like a lot of us are holding a lot of things collectively, and many of us are doing this where we without being able to exhale. Feels like things are being squeezed from all sides. I know, we from 1 in 5 Oregonians are going to be impacted by the SNAP. How is that even possible? 1 in 5. And if you say we can't imagine 1 in 5, then we either live in a bubble or we are extremely privileged, protected, and resourced. Yes. And I also have to tell you that right now, the fastest growing population of houselessness is the elderly. It's the boomers right now. And we understand that there are fixed income and everything costs rise up. Now, this isn't to say we're trying to guilt trip you into thinking, oh, you're privileged and what are you going to do? But I want for us to be real about how angry we are about our dysfunctional government, and we ought to be furious that the most vulnerable population are being targeted. When brown people, young children are scared to go to school, they're not thinking about getting that writing assignment done. Their life is on the line. My dear husband keeps telling me, Anna, please be careful. Don't get too much attention. Because I'm out there at the ice building, and I let Kari and Robert know, but I happened to see a car drive by in Happy Valley, a huge sign on the back of the truck that says, release Epstein files. And so I took a picture. I said, yeah, Happy Valley. And I posted it, and I was like, oh, okay. I woke up the next day, there were 500 hits. And I said, ooh. And Dylan's like, can you please be careful? Please stop posting things. You'll be targeted. Friends, this is funny and it's real. There's a mode that people are operating out of from. And it's not from a space of safety, but place of fear and uncertainty and anxiety. It's not a good place to be. And aren't we grateful that our lectionary reading today, Habakkuk has the audacity. Mind you, he is a prophet. He is a prophet. And so he knows what God is supposed to do. And when Habakkuk sees that God is not doing what God is supposed to do, he's like, oh, you are not going to give me a silent treatment. I see violence everywhere. You're not doing anything. I'm not going to sugarcoat my prayer to you. And he does it without thanksgiving. Have you started your prayer by saying, without thanksgiving? Right? This is like the one thing my mom taught me that is ingrained. Like, I don't care how mad you are. I don't care how upset you are. You start with thanksgiving. Dear God, I thank you. I mean, just recall how I pray here. Habakkuk? He don't do thanksgiving. He goes straight to, how long, oh Lord? How long, oh Lord? He's watching people in power abuse the system. Justice is broken. The law, which should protect the vulnerable, has become weak. How long, God? The suffering's real. The madness is real. We hear the similar theme from Psalm 13. How long, O Lord God, will you hide your face from me? You hear his fire and frustration. This is not a neat, polite prayer. If you want to teach your kids how to pray, this is not the prayer you go to, right? And yet, Habakkuk comes at it. And I find so liberating that God, to this, Habakkuk's inflammatory frustration at what is happening, doesn't shun him down, does not respond to him by saying, how dare you talk to me like that? Instead, it's like God gives him permission to be angry and to be mad at God. And Habakkuk shows us what it means to show up truthfully. I think it shows us that we don't have to make our grief pretty. It tells us that there are no easy fixes, yes, but showing lament, showing anger is not a lack of faith, but could be a most courageous form of it. God says there is still a vision. If it delays, wait for it, but it will surely come. I don't know how many of you celebrate, probably zero, but Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is a celebration not of death, but celebration of life, observing in Mexico and other parts of Latin America. And it's really a celebration of life and memory and stories and enduring love. It's about setting a table for our ancestors, not to just honor them, but to stay in connection. And All Saints' Day, Dia de Muertos, and as we approach Advent, I think about how we might be open to the idea that church is a space where grief can be expressed. Church is a space where anger gets to be released. Church is a space where we can light candles, we can place photos, we could cook their favorite meals, we can remember. Remember that love refuses to die. I had a really good conversation with one of the members here in church. And we began talking about what is our response as a church when so many people are directly impacted? What do we do? Are we hoarding our resources or are we doing our part? We all signed up to live at this time. You have a purpose. You are showing up because God has a hold on you, and you have a gift to share. And so this member and I start deeply talking about what do we mean when we come together? What is our collective power, and what is our response? Because I bet a lot of people are looking at churches like, you say a lot of things. You don't do a lot of things. It's really hard right now. There was a person who happened to have voted for a Republican president and being affected by the government shutdown, whatnot, needs help, reaches out to who they should reach out, family, friends, and these family friends respond by saying, you know what they say? You voted for it, you asked for it, this is on you. Is that really how we should respond? And think about that. When we do respond that way, what are we saying about ourselves? Because the other part, other folks could say, you say you're about loving the marginalized, loving the oppressed, and here you are, when we need help, silence. I know it's hard, but that is the task today. That is the task. For us to think, oh, we'll be fine. They'll learn on their own. It'll be a tough lesson, but they'll learn on their own. Friends, we don't learn lessons through punishment. Have you learned anything? We learn how to avoid it. We don't learn. You know what changes behavior, though? When you love on them. Love on them, love on them, love on them. No questions asked. If we were approaching Advent this year with Mary, Joseph, pregnant, about to have a child, could we imagine a refugee mom, a migrant father, not knowing, being targeted? And I think different cultures teach us how we can endure these moments. And so we will continue to honor our saints. They are not saints of the past. We are in communion with them now. And I wonder if our saints and those who loved us say, I know it's hard to love. I know it's hard to shine your light. Be mad about it. I hear you. But don't let that anger stop you. Don't let that anger bring you down. There is a place for anger. Church is not in denial of it. Show your anger, show your outrage, and do something with that. I'm going to bring in just Anna's informal conversation only because when the needs are there, we open it up. We're asking, how do we help family who are affected by SNAP? Okay, and what are we doing as a church? I don't have an idea, but there is a place that Anna is working where they are collecting food to directly send to the areas where they are connected with. Now, there are very specific things that they ask, right? Like, you don't know what they need. They know what they need. So we want to honor that. So we'll get that connected, have that list for you so that if you are able, when you are able, do what you can. This is our time to take care of one another. And so today, friends, let this be your prayer. We do not numb ourselves to the pain of the world, but we will honor it. And we come to communion not with answers, but with longing to see that we will have that table where there's communion for all. Like migrants, we come hungry but trust in a future that we can't fully see.